order for Monday, June 5th. Roll call, please.
Bannon.
Here.
Carly.
Present.
Allen.
Here.
Runyon.
Here.
Schaefer. Steichen. Yeti.
Yes.
Entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Motion by
Second.
Eddie, second by Doc. All those in favor?
Aye.
You've seen the minutes for the last meeting. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Motion by Doc, second by Allen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against, motion carries. This is coming before the committee. Resolution approving of election polling places.
Take it away.
Ma'am.
Thank you. I am here, we had received a call a few months back from the Forest Library, well, actually, it's the township clerk, Lori Kimmel, and she said that they were going to be relocating their township office, which is at the public library there in Forest, to what was the formerly the St. James Catholic Church on 323 South William Street. So then they have jurisdiction over the pole there, so they were going to wanted to have that moved over there, so it's all right there with them at the Catholic Church. So we had talked about that. It's got a lot more room. They're remodeling, they're making it so it's ADA, the bathrooms and that, they're not there yet. They're going to put a ramp up. And the library right now has an elevator or a lift, I guess, on the outside for handicap, but it's smaller. And some of the newer handicapped, the wheelchairs in that are too big for that. So anyway, that's what we were looking at proposing, that it move there. When what will happen then is, once it's approved, then we'll go ahead and we send out the voter registration cards to all of the voters, the registered voters in Forest Township. We send a letter also with it, letting them know what's going on. And then as it gets closer for the general election, then we would also post signs there letting people know, even though they're going to get notification ahead of time, that people will forget, and then let them know that it's relocated across town. So
You said the Catholic Church was on the north side. Right?
it's on the
Or south
southeast.
side, south side, yeah.
Southeast, you go over the railroad tracks on 24, a couple blocks, then
So
turn
it's
right.
quite a distance from where the old place was.
The other end of town.
We're in Forest. Can't be that bad.
I was just thinking
Did
that.
you take the confessional out?
I just said it.
We heard confession.
Well, I don't know. You could confess, I suppose, if you want. If you've done something wrong.
That'd be all day.
Anyway.
Amen.
All right.
Anyway.
Any other questions for Christie? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the resolution to change the
moved.
voting.
Second.
Motion by Vietti, second by Mark. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? Motion carries.
Thank you. They were excited about it.
Good.
Well, I think it's a little larger. They've got just a little corner, like a couple offices there, and it's gonna be a lot larger for them. And it's a sanctuary, so there'll be plenty of room for the voters and that, and the parking lot looks good out there too. Drove around by it and that, so.
So
I
it's
think
all
it'll
around a
be
good
fun.
thing.
I think so.
Good, good. It's good to hear.
The library's a nice place too. I mean, it's huge open space and that, but I think since they're all moving out and they keep track of the ballot boxes for us and.
Wasn't there, the library where what is now, wasn't that a church
It was
years
Apostolic
ago?
Christian Church,
They're gonna say
yeah.
it was a church years ago too.
We just go from one holy place to another. So,
Good.
anyway, that was all I had. Thank you.
All right, we've got the reappointment of Rose Smith to the Mental Health 708 Board. We've got the reappointment of Mark Donovan to the Mental Health 708 Board, the reappointment of Debbie Stednicki to the Mental Health 708 Board, and the reappointment of Vicki Day to the 377 Board. Anybody want to make a motion to approve those?
I'll make the motion to approve all four of them.
Motion by Runyon, second by Allen. Discussion. These are all reappointments, so any
One of them's
discussion?
not Vietti.
Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? Motion carries. Okay, we're down to F, resolution for supporting the Second Amendment rights. I'm sure most of you have seen or heard about a number of the Illinois counties that are passing resolutions in support of the Second Amendment. I'm a concealed carry, believe in the Second Amendment wholly. I support this resolution. Bill's the one that sent it in. He supports it. I've talked to a number of the board members and they support it. And I'd entertain a motion to approve this resolution.
So moved.
Motion by Alan, second.
Second.
Second by Doc. Discussion?
This is the same resolution that was before us last month that Bill presented?
Yes. Yes.
That was an article.
Right, but we talked about it last month.
Right.
Right, we did talk about it last month, but there wasn't, like a full resolution. All I
Right.
had was a portion of the.
Right, and we're coming back.
I just wanted to know what the resolution would say.
That would probably have to be a Randy thing, I mean, you have to look under,
That's what I was wondering, if we're gonna take
Oh,
the exact
okay.
same thing even and just substitute Livingston County for.
Randy would probably have to look at it, cause I mean, that's pretty much what their resolution was. I can't remember the county.
Monroe.
Monroe.
I didn't know if we were just gonna take Monroe County out and put Livingston County in and leave everything else the same.
Well, that, once again, that'd have to be.
That's what I would suggest, and then send it to Randy for his final review.
Yeah, if he has any other good suggestions.
And it was only one that was, it wasn't directing anybody to do anything or anything else, just in support of.
No, we can't do it. I think there are counties that have.
There are.
They have support for that, and I don't. Mr. Chairman?
Two questions. The first one is, what's the purpose of passing this resolution?
To show our support for the Second Amendment.
To show it to whom?
Proactive instead of reactive, I guess.
Legislature.
Yeah.
What about
We're-
the other amendments?
We are going to send it
I would suggest that.
to our
once it's-
legislators?
Once it's
If it
passed.
passes.
Yes,
The second thing
yes.
that I have, this is a state or a federal constitutional amendment that we were guaranteed back when the Constitution was written.
Correct.
How do we know with all the school shootings and random shootings that we have, there's a lot of people clamoring for some type of gun control, whether it be to get rid of assault rifles or the way they currently can sell guns. And I'm a gun owner, I got a lot of them.
Yeah.
But I don't.
That is scary.
That is
That is
scary.
really.
But I don't mind regulations on guns where assault rifles cannot get out to the public nearly as easy. I suppose it can't be entirely.
And here again, it's, I don't wanna leave, personally, I don't wanna leave that determination to legislatures who, things I've read, don't even know what an assault rifle is. They think that a 10-clip magazine makes it a fully automatic weapon. And this was written by not one of ours, but still, they don't know, they don't understand, some of them. And I want to make sure that it's clear that how we feel about the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
You got a look on your face, Mike. Say it.
I mean, it is the law.
Yeah, it is the
So
law.
we're saying, what, we agree with the law? What about the
Respect the
First
law.
Amendment? What about the Third Amendment? I mean, they are the laws. I think we're,
When was the last time the Third Amendment was under attack?
I'm not sure, I interpret what's going on as attacking the Second Amendment.
It is.
It is.
I mean, there hasn't been an attempt to repeal it or to modify it.
If you read the Second Amendment, it explicitly said to not be infringed upon. That is That all it has to say. There's a reason that was in there. That's it. Oh, there's a reason why that has that language in that one.
I
I mean-
mean, to me, the whole thing is a moot point because we can pass resolutions and.
Well,
It
it's
doesn't
kinda
have
like
any
It's gonna
teeth
change
in it.
anybody's mind.
It's just a moral thing.
Yeah,
It's
That's
just,
what it is.
yeah.
You're right.
There's no teeth in it
Yeah,
at
I
all, but we
mean-
can't do
It's
anything,
just
but.
like what you said. Well,
it's just kind of being proactive about it. I mean, you know, tomorrow somebody can come in front of us and say, well, we want to ban this gun and this gun because I think it looks scary. And then you'll have some people come out and get a little woo-wah together and do it. It's what's going on now. So, I mean, it's just saying, hey, you know, we believe in the Second Amendment and
I believe in the Third Amendment and the Fourth Amendment
Yes.
and the Fifth Amendment
yes.
and on and on.
Why not,
But
like
you
I
see-
said, why not just change
when
it and
is
say we
those-
support the Constitution and its amendments?
There you go.
Have you gotten into a discussion with people about gun rights and that? All they do is focus on that one, on the Second Amendment. But, you know, just start saying, okay, you know,
What about the ERA, Equal Rights Amendment? It's now just winding its way through.
And I think it already wound its way through.
Yeah.
Through there.
Well, but we never went on record supporting it or opposing it, or now, once it passes, are we going to pass a resolution? To me,
we
it's,
can. I mean,
If somebody feels strong enough to bring it up.
yes, bring it up, yeah. I mean, if,
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody's more up to date than I am, I think they already passed
They did.
the ERA for
it's
the
passed,
state
it's
of
waiting,
Illinois.
it's waiting the governor's signature, but that's in
Right.
Illinois, that's not national.
No, I know, that's what I'm talking about, Illinois.
Yeah. And if it becomes a federal, if it becomes a constitutional amendment, that's the end of that debate.
but we're not here talking about that.
Why not? I guess I'm just
Let them do
saying,
what they want.
I know.
it's a waste of time and paper, frankly.
In your opinion,
Yes,
okay,
that's right,
that's your opinion.
that's right.
So I tell you what, we will get that drafted up and get it, and we'll vote on it next month. So everybody's got something to read. All right? Okay. Committee restructure. We discussed this last month. Wanted you to take it home, think about it, look at it. Did you think about it? Is
I think it's
the
a good-
structure of the committees that we had brought up last month
I think it's
down to 5 committees?
pretty good.
I was wondering, do we really wanna roll public property into sheriff, Joe, and license, or would we wanna leave those as two separate committees? That'd be really the only question that I would have. I was thinking about that.
Is they hooked?
It's pretty much the same players.
That was the one concern I had on that, and the other concern you had mentioned of maybe switching over to the committees as early as 2019. And
That would be entirely up to.
I got thinking about that. To me, that seems a little early to be doing it, considering we're not talking about, cutting anyone from the county board until the earliest we could do it would be, 2022 when the census came out, which would be for the 2023 county board cycle. So you're talking 4 years, you're gonna be cutting all these seats. I got thinking some of these, 10 county board members would only have 1 seat.
If that's the direction the board takes.
Right. So I think.
I mean, we can only make recommendations.
I think we should hold, myself, as far as that part of it goes, I think we should hold off till closer to the 20.
Well, I understand that. I just think it's a good way to show the voters that we are sincere about making changes and that we're sincere about saving money, because that would save money. And there's not many ways that the board itself, in its body,
Right.
can. I mean, we have the 2 budgets and there's not a lot we can do, but that is one that we could do. And here again, that's gonna be a county chairman.
It's just a question on Mark brought up the sheriff and property coming together. How's that gonna work out with the memorandum? If it don't work, this memorandum don't work out.
We're still talking about pretty much the same players. The sheriff is still gonna be involved in property.
Well,
He's still over those buildings regardless, right?
why,
So there's still
those
gonna
two,
be,
but then there's the other three, and I hope that would never happen, but I still think, especially, you know, the sheriff, I've always had a problem with that sheriff jail, that license, that's more an administrative function.
yeah.
Years ago, we did away with an insurance committee, because they met once a year and looked at the premiums, and that's an administrative thing. I can see that licensing, these appointments, some of that kind of stuff going to a.
And I think the appointments would be going to the admin. And
But
I could see the licensee going to the admin. Here again, that's details.
I just see functionally a big difference between the sheriff jail, and that's a huge department, a huge budget, lots of people.
How's that gonna work out? I mean,
If maybe if you wanted to do away with the property committee as standalone, that becomes more an administrative.
That's kind of what I was getting at. I mean, I just think there was
who
separate.
becomes in charge? I mean, if, I'm just saying.
In
if
charge
you
of
got-
what?
You're gonna put them two together, and you're saying the sheriff always has control of those two. Now, who's gonna be in control of this building and regions and,
Who's in control of it now?
Right
committee.
now,
so it would still be the
It'd
committee?
still be committee. Committee's still in charge.
your maintenance
So
foreman
you're-
or supervisor.
All you're doing is putting two committees together, but it's not gonna change. I mean,
Not really.
No, functionally, I don't think it really changes. I just,
well, I'm just saying, it seems like the sheriff's gonna be in charge.
80% of the time, how long does a sheriff general license committee last?
Oh, I'm not saying, I understand 15, 20 minutes, same way with property sometimes.
Unless Jackson charged, then it's 5.
Wait a minute. When I was in charge, we were dealing with, we used to, our meetings would last longer.
Yeah.
We were dealing with Marty.
Now, I know the property.
Don't tell me those last
but-
15 minutes.
well,
So when you bring them two together,
if that's the goal though, to, you know, combine short meetings.
Well, I mean, that's just
Streamline
things that you look at. I mean, if you've got a better idea, I'm
I totally understand the
I'm
method.
more than
It
open.
seems to me that public safety, call it what you want, I mean, that is our largest responsibility. That's our largest department, it's our largest budget. Not so sure that one shouldn't stand on its own. Now, if you don't wanna let property stand on its own, that becomes more of an administrative function. Countywide, the buildings, the physical property. I don't feel strongly.
I'm not,
one way or the other.
I'm not trying to push an agenda, I'm just, conversation. And if that makes more sense, then great.
I don't know, maybe I just came on property at an important time, but normally isn't property as involved as it is now? I don't know.
It kind of depends on
It's been
can
what's
really,
going
really
on. Yeah.
weird.
Who's in
Not
charge?
I
necessarily.
mean, we've got a short agenda today as we've ever had,
I know.
but there's a significant incident that we're gonna talk about, but we didn't even know that yesterday. But
Well, I know whenever I was in charge of chairman of public property a couple of years back, our meetings always lasted like an hour and a half or so. I mean,
That's because you had everything.
yeah, but we were dealing with law and justice issues,
Yeah.
which we're
Yeah.
still dealing with. But
and you'll have problems that come along that, and then they get solved, and then there's something else. And I'm not making the case that it should stand on its own. I'm just saying I don't think it should be combined with public safety.
I can call these up to give you something.
I guess maybe I missed part of, is it to be the same number of members on each committee?
Yeah.
Okay.
we're talking about cutting the size of the county board from 24 members down to 18, taking 2 off of each district, staying with 3 districts, so only electing 6, not 8. And then having well, the way Marty had it written up originally, four standing committees, and then you would have liaisons to, like IT, a liaison to, where we have it somewhere. Liaisons to IT, personnel, social services, and legislation.
And then as I was going through this, so, I kind of wondered when we got to the liaison thing, because we have someone who's in charge of technology, who is John Steer, who reports to the admin committee, and then we have that same thing for personnel. So I wondered, instead of doing that, because when I looked at the social services liaison, that person really kind of got to where they had a lot of responsibilities where I couldn't necessarily think of the responsibility for the technology and personnel person. But like, we could do Veterans Assistance Commission liaison, so that person would attend the VAC commission meetings and kind of report back. Same thing with public health and then mental health. And then if we did that, we would still end up with the same number of people on administrative as well, and we'd still be covering each area. Only difference from what we talked before is that the information for technology would be coming from John Sear, who really should be the person to report on that anyway,
Right.
and the personnel issues would come from Ginger Harris.
My only question about the personnel, doing away with it, because is at salary negotiation time, because she's gonna be working with the very people that she either recommends raises for or not, rather than.
Those things still have to, it still would have to go to administrative and probably finance as well, if there's an increase in salary. The HR person doesn't have the authorization to give salary increases.
You know, picking up on what Linda said though, how many times, and usually because of salaries, that sort of thing, we end up with a personnel committee meeting, a finance committee meeting, and then a joint meeting. So maybe it should be finance/personnel. Because most of personnel, other than policy and things, and that's what Ginger's saying, most of it's money.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, it definitely is. I just thought that the policy side maybe should be under a bigger group of board members, and we have 10 on there. But we can certainly put them under finance, that's fine too. The one thing is that
Change for the sake of change.
finance committee has they have a lot on their plate, so I wasn't trying to put more onto them.
So you'll end up with, if you got personnel, now we're gonna have joint admin and finance meetings
No,
when it comes to salaries and things.
no, not necessarily.
Okay.
We're going back to what Mark.
I mean, if it's a budget thing, then it's going to finance. And if it's, you don't really get to where you're approving a lot of salary increases. It's really policy.
Maybe we should do away with committees and go to 2 meetings a month, have one committee of the whole and one of the board.
It might not be a bad idea, actually.
Well, Sale County does it too, but they meet all day.
Well, you take 3 committee assignments, most of them have, and wrap them together, that's all day, it's just on different days.
John?
One of the things, my main issues with it, I think, is the moving too much stuff into the admin, which is made up of the chairman of the other committees, I guess. Then that really concentrates a lot of power into 45 people there. So I would.
10.
Right, still, they're getting a lot more say over everything than the other board members do. Because they can run the meetings.
You'd have to show up for that and then a lot more.
Then you got a committee of the whole.
But I will say, as in any of our meetings, board members are more than welcome to come and would be giving their input, or should be giving their input, if they've got something to say.
And this isn't, it's not something that we just made up. We looked at those other counties. I gave you that sheet on what committees most counties have. And, some of them were able to get down to 5, but I think we had one of the most amount of committees that were in there at the same level. There were some
How
at
many,
5, a
I'm
lot
just
at
curious,
6,
how many
7.
does McLean County have?
McLean wasn't in our comparable list, but I did actually pull that information, but I don't have it with me today.
I'm wondering, of those counties, how many have full-time administrators?
None of the ones that we really looked at. I mean, I guess Grenada County does have one.
Because that would make a big difference. A lot of the things committees maybe shouldn't, but get involved in, are handled on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
I know this has been mentioned here a couple of times. I know Mike mentioned it, and John had a concern about the administrative committee, the way we kind of got it structured here. What would be wrong, instead of doing the administrative committee structuring kind of the way we've done it, is basically kind of do away with it and make it a committee of the whole county board, and make that the administrative committee.
And then, I guess I would go back to what you were saying, Mike, about doing committee as a whole.
Well,
Isn't that
committee of the
you
whole, I'm not familiar with counties, I know municipalities that do it. And they do it in lieu of basically committees, and you meet once a month, and your department heads have reports. They don't sit and read them, but you get them ahead of time. But they're there to answer questions and that sort of thing. And it's where you get a lot more discussion and things. And it makes for a short board meeting because you got the same people.
If you get a lot of
If you got a
discussion,
committee of the whole,
you talking whatever.
It's all
20 or
talked out by,
14 or-
it's all talked out in the committee of the whole.
I'm
so
not
it's time to get-
suggesting that, but
No, I'm just, to be,
it gets around a lot of scheduling problems, people, well, I can't meet on this day, so I can't be on that committee, or people that work,
we've been having a problem with that?
I'm not, no, I'm
No.
not suggesting I prefer that, I'm saying, I'm not so sure it wouldn't be a better option than this, but I don't wanna say I don't care, I do care, but I don't have strong feelings. I guess I don't see what the advantage of doing this is,
To doing what?
moving to this as opposed to what we have now.
Well, number one, I said it would save us money.
How much?
Yeah, those figures, didn't I?
I had them at one time, but I don't have them today.
We've got those figures, she doesn't have them, but it was savings. Figure, it's less meetings with less people, it's gonna be savings.
Well, and I think part of it has to do with, we're possibly gonna reduce the board size to 18. If we kept the current committee structure as it is, that might have some people spending 4 nights in a meeting. And that's gonna cost us more money.
And let's face it, some of these committees really don't do that much.
Well, that's
So we
why
should-
we combined them.
That's why
Mark.
No,
we're
I
trying to
go
combine
back to
it.
when we did away with
Insurance.
insurance. And I think that, but then starting to screw them together differently. I mean, I can see Veterans Affairs, I mean, really, our responsibility is pretty minimal. And I think you could logically, for the reasons I talked about, combine personnel with public,
With finance,
personnel with finance.
that's okay.
Elections, rules, and legislation, maybe that's just an administrative function.
That's what we've got.
Maybe that's a step in this ultimate direction until we know what the size of the board is gonna be.
That's what we've got in there. We
That's
got
all I-
election rules going to that, and
Yeah, I know, but then leave the rest of it alone.
why?
Well, I mean, I think it's,
Well, I don't think anything-
You just don't wanna change, or I'm
No,
asking you why, and you're not giving a reason. That's
well,
fine.
I've talked about why I don't think it makes sense for public safety and public property to
Right.
combine. Now, if you
And
really
there was
want
no, I mean, there
do
was,
away with that meeting, public property with admin. But maybe that's step 2,
You can go to 6 committees,
you know.
we still could.
So you're talking about.
We still got time to,
Right.
this doesn't have to go, it doesn't.
You're
go
talking about
today.
rolling personnel into finance, what was the other one you had said,
Well, it said elections administrative rules.
Yeah, election rules and legislation would be administrative.
Yeah.
Public property and
Technology, information technologies and administrative functions, Veterans Affairs goes away, combined personnel with finance.
See what you learn, Bill, when you come early, and you could have brought some snack on, but that's okay.
He brought the good water.
Good water, that is good water, it's the best water. Okay,
I'll try to summarize my thoughts, Marty, and send them to you.
There you
So
go.
we don't delay this.
What,
quick comment.
the, putting the public property insurance, is that is only gonna work if this memorandum?
No. Putting them together doesn't have anything to do with whether there's a memorandum or there isn't a memorandum.
Well,
So what, I mean,
If-
what's the
if
guys on
the-
public property gonna? They'd have no teeth in saying what goes on in law and justice and the sheriff.
well, first of all,
Do you now?
No.
The
So
old-
why then combine, why combine them then?
I think as long
To,
as.
to reduce the
operating-
amount of committees that we have. These are just suggestions.
These are
I know,
suggestions.
I'm
We're still
just
working on
throwing them out there.
fine-tuning.
If you don't wanna reduce committees, then
We won't.
you won't.
No, you
Right.
invited us to come with ideas.
There you go. He
Exactly.
invited you? You didn't invite me.
That's the only
That's
reason I'm
fine.
here.
That's good. Hey, that's good, I mean, we, cause,
Does anybody know how the committee of the whole actually would work in like a Monday meeting?
You'd have to have a bigger table.
bigger table on it. Charlie can't go. I can't, can't be here.
I don't think you'd have to.
It wouldn't be all day.
It is in LaSalle County.
Well, what I had in mind is you would still have your 4, 5, 6 committees like highway, like Sheriff Joe and license, but then your committee on the whole or administrator would take the administrative committee's role and do everything that would be administrative would then be on the committee of the whole type of thing.
So any savings that we made, we just lost.
And we're trying to be sensitive to people who have jobs or employment so they can serve on the county board. They used to be when they met all day,
Well,
you know, that just, yeah, but that meant so many people
couldn't.
just weren't able to serve on the county
Yeah.
board.
Yeah.
And right now,
You're right.
I mean, some of our people,
We have a hard time getting people to
But-
run anyway.
but we're
We have
getting-
a hard time getting people to run, so if you wanna run, please get out there and run.
but we're getting some younger people once
wanna see
in a
a lot of
while on the
run.
board,
We're working on it.
you know, and
Get them out there. Good.
I just don't think you really wanna go to all-day meetings or.
I think it limits the,
You know-
the people that would want to participate.
McLean County has their board meeting during the day. And that's been one
Well,
of
they're
the
thinking
real,
about going tonight.
that's been one of the real complaints of people.
Right.
Is that they aren't able to get to those meetings to participate.
Right, there's a reason why we did this. We
Yeah,
wanna go back.
and I think it's still valid.
9 o'clock.
It used to be at 9:30 in the
I
morning.
know what it was.
That's why you
Then you
want
play
all-day.
cards at noon.
No, they did, some of them did, the old timers did.
Yeah, was that on the camera?
Here, are you talking about
I
here?
said I
in
wanted
Lawrence
it all
County?
day.
They used to meet quarterly,
In the basement, I know they did.
Yeah, quarterly.
all day.
And it used to be one from each township,
That's correct, it was 31.
so.
But McLean County's looking to go evenings, I think, they're talking about it.
Well,
They're talking about it, but they probably get in the same kind of discussions we do about trying to change the way we're organizing. And I think the organization goes right along with cutting board size down.
Right.
Was the whole, it was a combined effort, and it was trying to make that work.
Better use of people's time.
Yeah, and maybe not having people come 3 nights a week, maybe some of our people would be able to serve 2 committees on the same night and
And be done.
be done. Huh?
Behind you.
Well, some do, yeah, but
It's not really, okay,
some go 3 nights or 4 nights.
So, if you don't like this, bring us some ideas next month, and we'll talk about it again next month, we'll put it back on next month. Sound good?
We could also change, just for discussion, administrative committee, instead of having it be the chairman, if that's part of the problem, then we could just have it be another appointed committee by the, just like all the other committees are appointed. We could do that.
Yeah, you'd have one for each committee, couldn't you? That, would you have them all day,
Oh,
or administrative? Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, you could have somebody else, if you're worried about the, John,
Instead of
about
using
too
the
much
chairman,
power.
use somebody else out of the committee?
Yeah, to,
Well, I was saying that if we were worried that the chairman of those committees would have too much power, that it could just be an appointed committee, and it didn't necessarily have to be the chairman. The chairman could still attend and do their reports, but it didn't have to be part of the committee, I don't know.
Well, if you're gonna have the chairman come to the other reports here again, there goes your savings.
There goes your savings, yeah.
All right.
I was just trying to answer someone's. Yeah.
So it'd be an idea to have everybody come to the administrative, since all the information's gonna be there.
Okay. Thank you.
But also at the board meeting, same
Yes.
information.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least
I
you're
know,
not
I think it
surprised
sounds to
at
me
the
like
board.
we're changing the thrust. The admin committee now is all the chairman. And
The
I
latest.
guess for me, going to the board meeting, kind of know what's going on, you know, around the table. But it's almost like they're changing it to, call it what you want, administrative. It's to take care of administrative functions.
Right.
So I'm not sure that it shouldn't be an appointed committee just like any other. You know,
Yeah.
Okay.
I've said all I'm gonna say, and I will
We'll
send
keep
you a
it.
memo if I
Okay.
find time in my busy schedule to give you meetings.
Thank you, Michael. Okay.
So next month too?
Yep.
Thanks for your hard work, Elena.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
No, I'm just looking at the next one.
Public comment?
Public comment.
Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move for adjournment.
Motion by Vietti, second by
Carly.
Doc.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Elena, I'm curious, now, does that go in the record as Doc, seconded by Doc and by Carly?
Oh,
I was gonna put Vietti, AKA Carly.
there you go.
Thanks, Jack.
Are we adjourned?
Oh, we may not.
You all right?
Who's going to say?